Hard drive mining is so cool as a concept. Hard drive mining is essentially turning your unused storage space into passive income. Hard drive mining is using a typical standardized multi-purpose hardware, a hard drive, as essentially the core piece of a crypto mining rig. If you want to mine Bitcoin, you need a specialized ASIC miner. You need a purpose-built machine that only mines the SHA-256 mining algorithm, or simply put, Bitcoin. There's been numerous cryptocurrencies over the years that have enabled hard drive mining. Perhaps more scalability, perhaps more multi-use hardware, perhaps a lower barrier to entry. No one has a Bitcoin miner just sitting in their house. Many people have hard drives just sitting around their house, or simply a computer. I'm Drew Vosk, you're on the VoskCoin YouTube channel. This is probably my last hard drive mining update, and you'll understand why by the end of this. Many years ago, I got into hard drive mining. Specifically, I built my VoskCoin Tri-Miner design as a CPU miner, a GPU miner, and a hard drive miner, all in one compact, cool build. And could even game on it. I mean, geez, living large. But burst mining went well, and then it went really bad. And there were a couple junk hard drive mineable coins in the middle of this hard drive mining lifespan over the last 10 years, and then enter Chia, right? Chia. This cryptocurrency goes by the ticker XCH. And while I thought hard drive mining was always cool and interesting, and I really wanted something to be really successful and take off with it, Chia mining in particular was pretty unapproachable. It was a bigger endeavor to learn how to do it, to plot the hard drives, external plotting, and I've just been very busy for many years now. Then came along Evergreen Miner. Evergreen Miner filled the void of, I want a hard drive mine, but I don't want to deal with this whole hard drive mining rig setup. It created a plug and play solution, and I cannot understate how sweet it was in the beginning. It was easy, right? I get the device, I unbox it, I plug it in, I open the app, I connect to it, I paste my address, and I'm earning passive income. There's also a cool, fun mechanic where every time you hit a block in Chia mining, you get additional rewards. And it also was fun to keep track of the progress and development of my hard drive mining endeavor. We posted numerous hard drive mining snapshots over a couple years. I started taking Chia hard drive mining seriously in 2022. And what began as a cool pilot experiment quickly enthused me. The ability to deploy a lot of capital and get pretty good passive income returns, all the while having a low energy footprint, low noise footprint, low heat output footprint, was really interesting, really engaging. So I went on to design the hard drive mining shed, or as I like to call it, my redneck DIY data center. I didn't know you can still say that word anymore, but I'm old school. I'm grandfathered in, I guess. Yeah, I designed this thing from the ground up, open sourced the design on VoskCoin Talk, our forum. Tried to get as much input and feedback as I could on that, and it was essentially just dropped and plug and play. I mean, I literally ran an Ethernet cable into it and hooked up power to the panel in it, and I was online. Slapped a couple mini splits on the side. Really only ever needed one, of course, but wanted the redundancy because I had a heavy investment into Chia hard drive miners. You're on the VoskCoin YouTube channel. We make content. I'm proud to say we are the biggest mining content creation entity ever. And so I talked about these. I liked these things, and they had an affiliate program. We did earn money referring these. I also received some of these to review. I also bought some of these. I also bought hard drive. I also spent Bitcoin on one of the Evergreen miners. And let me tell you right now, god dang do I regret that. Ugh. You never spend your Bitcoin on that shitcoin crap. Hey, you want to buy a mining rig? Do you want a pretty good price on it and pretty fast shipping? Then you may be looking for ASIC Marketplace. Click our link in the video description below to not only support our channel, but support yourself with the coupon code we've got right next to it. But in all seriousness, right, I invested in the hard drive mining shed. I put additional funds into the hard drive miners. Yes, we received some to review. And I'm always full disclosure, transparency here. Ask a question, I'll tell you the truth. I don't care. But really rounding out the evergreen aspect of all of this is that they really did make a sweet experience that just continued to get worse. In the beginning, these Chia miners were essentially plug and play, and they did all of their mining right there on the spot. Later on, they moved to remote decompression. And basically that means that if Evergreen's GPUs go down at their HQ, your hard drive miners will stop working. In Evergreen's defense, Chia mining kept developing and changing. The project was wishy-washy on this direction, that direction, and it just was never really clear. It just seemed like it's a project that is mineable, but there's no actual miners running the dang thing or in the equation, to the point that it's confusing, it's cumbersome, and it was rapidly developing. Furthermore, with easy access to cheap hard drives, hard drive mining was originally viewed as like really cool with multi-purpose hardware, but wow, again, what a surprise. It became dominated by the Chinese with their easy access and cheap access and homegrown access to hard drive mining. Imagine your city's next to the hard drive mining manufacturing city. That's how it can be in China. It's never like that in America or really anywhere else in the world. Every generation has completely sold out every future generation by essentially moving all manufacturing not only out of probably your country, but to China, to the point that China produces like almost everything. It's terrifying. But to bring it back here to the core of this story is the experience got worse and worse with the Evergreen miners. They started having more setup problems. They started having more reliance on the company and no longer being a device that plugs in and works regardless of some other company, right? If I buy a Bitcoin miner from any manufacturer, let's say Bitmain, the largest Bitcoin miner manufacturer in the world, they can blow up tomorrow and my Bitcoin miners will keep chugging along as if nothing ever happened. Incredible. That's what I want. That's how it should be. If you drive a Ford and Ford blows up, you don't want your Ford to stop working. You probably wouldn't have bought it then. It's kind of what started to happen here. We could dive deeper into the details, but it really doesn't matter. The bottom line is that Evergreen did end up imploding, and Evergreen no longer exists. And the founder of Evergreen has straight up moved on. That's Dylan Rose. The good news is that there's now Druid OS. It's an operating system that replaces the old Evergreen software completely, and it should get your Evergreen miners mining again. If they're remotely decompressed, I'm not quite sure, but if you have the earlier ones, like all of the 3D printed green ones, the orange ones, the VoskCoin Tails edition, then this should be a great solution for you. I actually only recently found out about this. 2 months ago, I tore all of my Evergreen miners apart. I extracted all of their hard drives. It was a pain in the ass. It was laborious. It was boring. It was tedious. It was frustrating. And it was true capitulation. I'd like to introduce you to Lloyd Ross of dataslayer.com. I'll link him out down below and put his contact info there. But the bottom line is, I had 177 hard drives. Most of my hard drives were 16 terabytes and 18 terabytes and a chunk of 20 terabyte hard drives. And I just bulk sold these to him. And in that bulk sale, I recouped $16,000 of investment. I, at this point, am left with simply the hubs or the Raspberry and Rock Pis of these Evergreen miners. I have no longer any of the hard drives. I, of course, have the sunk cost on the hard drive mining shed, which ironically quickly became overtaken by just a bunch of Bidaxes and other mini Bitcoin miners. And I just leave the AC running in there to run those and give them a true, I'm running a mini Bitcoin miner in my house test area. It also doubles as my field office because I haven't finished anything out there at the mining farm that has AC. And so it's nice and cool and quiet in there. And I do a lot of work over there when I'm at the mining farm. So I get that benefit of it. I don't regret building the hard drive mining shed. It was a really cool project. I wish that it worked out. You miss every shot you don't take, all that stuff. If Chia went to $1,000 a coin and the Evergreen miners are firing on all cylinders, everyone would think I'm a genius. Things didn't go well. Some people would try to throw shade on me. I don't give a shit. F them. Anybody who hates on me can eat shit and die. I really don't care. I didn't get this far by listening to others or really even caring what they thought. So 16 grand recoup. I'm left with a shed and some AC, and I lick my wounds and I move on. I mined a lot of Chia over the years. I held most of that and actually invested more to own even more XCH. That investment has gone poorly. Once again, if I would have invested in Bitcoin miners and Bitcoin, I would have been doing exponentially better. Wow, surprise on that. What am I going to do with the 16 grand I recouped? Other than putting it towards my electricity bill, I actually turned around and just invested it in the Bitcoin miners. I added some cash on top, and that was went towards 4 more Bitmain Antminer S21 XPs that I deployed on the VoskCoin Bitcoin mining farm. So that added, over 1,000 a terahash a second of mining Bitcoin hash rate to my mining endeavor. Each of those are pulling in like $20 a day in passive income, so it's added like $80 a day of passive income to the farm, more than I was making hard drive mining. Less headache, easier to use, manage, easier to resell if I wanted to, which I don't really resell my miners. I have enough energy out here on the farm to just kind of run them into the ground, and that's really my goal and plan with everything. So yeah, it's disappointing, and I'm sure I'll get hate for it, whatever. But like the bottom line is, if, in my opinion, if Chia actually gave a shit about their miners, and Evergreen solved their capital issues, personnel issues, whatever issues, who cares about dissecting them and what happened at this point? It's blown up, it's dead and gone. It doesn't really even matter anymore. It's kind of about what do we do and what's next. I wish it worked out. I still don't disagree with just how cool I thought it was, and it was a very interesting way to diversify. At least I can recoup 16 grand on my hard drives. If you had bought ASIC miners for some obscure shit coin and that coin went to zero, well, you surely wouldn't be doing that with those ASIC miners. They would truly be worthless, absolutely worthless. The only thing worth anything on them is maybe their control board if it's used with other models, power supply, fans that hardly have any value. So it would have been really cool to diversify the farm that way, and things could have worked out, and it could have been a huge cash cow. And it was a great way at the time with the projection and the hopium to expand the VoskCoin mining farm, and again, not only diversify it, but I didn't have any extra electrical capacity at that time. So it gave me a unique option and avenue to expand my mining endeavors. And that's why one of the reasons I think hard drive mining can resonate with so many people, because it's something that you could plug into any outlet in your house. It's something that can mine over Wi-Fi. It's something where you can repurpose some gear that you may have and kind of get in the equation. But it just it never became a fruitful endeavor. Ultimately, I lost money on the hard drive mining endeavor. And that's disappointing, but I don't make money with everything I do. I'm not infallible. And honestly, I'm not here to just celebrate only my wins on YouTube. Anyone who only celebrates their wins is a fake piece of shit. I've done so many things over the years that have lost me money. I have invested in so many things that have absolutely blown up, from cryptocurrencies to mineable coins, hardware, right? ICOs, NFTs, and of course other things, stocks, real estate, cars, whatever. Been scammed, bugged, it sucks. I don't let one mistake or bad thing or misfortune end my journey. There's a lot of easy ways to go, oh, woe is me, it didn't work out, it's over. Like, I pick myself up, I get back in the game, and at the end of the day, I win a lot more than I lose, and I'm thankful for that. And the only reason why is because I keep grinding, I keep pushing, and I just try to make the best decisions I can at the time I can with the data I have, and keep evolving, moving forward. And what worked yesterday may not work today. And I've talked about that in some other recent videos, specifically on new ASIC miners. There's been a lot of, on paper, what seems to be like really new, exciting mineable opportunities that turns out to not. So this is my last video on hard drive mining. There's nothing else to it at this point. I will not pursue Chia mining in any capacity ever again. And to be honest, unless I am the founder or the advisor, or at least an advisor, I will never hard drive mine another cryptocurrency again. If it becomes so popular or something, whatever, maybe I'll get one into review. But like, the hard drive mining shed is no longer the hard drive mining shed. It's the green mining shed. It's the VoskCoin mining shed. It's the I never should have done that hard drive mining shit shed. But no, seriousness, right? It's this is the final chapter. I tried in the 2017 cycle. I tried in whatever part of this last cycle you want to call that. Hard drive mining has just proven to not be a fruitful endeavor, and I'm surely not going to liquidate my hard drives just to pick them back up at another premium in the future. This is my hard drive mining capitulation, and that's the end of that. Much like when I moved on from GPU mining, and I correctly called that. I don't mean to pat myself on the back, but if you weren't there, the amount of hate I got at that time was just unbelievable. And then fast forward several years, look around, everyone who wanted to stick around being a GPU miner is no longer one. So being forward thinking and reading the writing on the wall and accepting my reality and the fate there didn't mean that I abandoned GPU mining. Cryptocurrencies, the projects abandoned the GPU miners, and I wasn't going to stay on a sinking ship. The only multi-purpose hardware mining aspect that I really find interesting at all at this point is CPU mining. I don't really actively participate in it. And please understand that hard drive mining is an absolute pipe dream. There are data centers that would flip over and eat your profits faster than you can say, please stop. So let's officially call it. Hard drive mining's dead. GPU mining's dead. CPU mining's in rough shape. It leaves us only with ASIC mining. It's not the destiny we wanted, but it's the reality we have. I'm Vosk. You're on the VoskCoin YouTube channel. This is 10 Seconds of Tales. Our CBO, our Chief Bitcoin Officer, we run 10 seconds of Tales on every video. Why? Because she has watched every single season of Survivor. Can you say the same?